Hi everybody, welcome to another video from Duncan's How-To Guides and Repair Tips. This is a bit of a how-to guide really. I've got one of these British Gas smart meters, and the problem I have with this is basically wherever you put it in the house it doesn't work. There's only one place it actually works, and two places. That's in my garage or here in my utility room, on the sat on the side. If you can see there, I've only got like 2 bars of signal of connection back to the smart meter. The little Wi-Fi symbol next to it is for the Wi-Fi, and that's got full coverage, but I've only got 2 bars of signal there for the connection back to the smart meter. Now the smart meter is probably only about 4 meters away from here, so the signal coverage of the smart meter is very poor, and it's what I've read online. It'll work fine for you if you happen to have your electric meter and smart meter inside your house. If you're lucky enough to have that, you can pretty much put this smart meter anywhere in the house you want. But if, like me, your gas and electric meter is outside on the side of your garage at the other side of the house, you really want this smart meter somewhere in the house where you can see it. But that's not always possible. So the plan, what I'm going to do is, instead of leaving it sat on the side like that, because it looks quite messy with the cable there, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put it up here on the wall, and I'm going to put it through the wall, so the cable goes through the wall. The other side of this wall here is my garage, and luckily there's a plug socket not far away, so it's going to sit flush on the wall, flush mount to the wall, and it's going to be powered from the garage, so it'll just literally, you'll just see the front of it on the wall here and nothing else. Now I want to show you some considerations if you're going to do any piece of work like this, because there's a couple of holes I've got to drill here. On the back of this smart meter there's a little stand that you can just unclip, and when you unclip the stand at the back you've got 2 little screw holes. That's for putting it on the wall. Now you can also put batteries in these smart meters, but I'm going to run mine off the power because, like I said, I've got a plug socket the other side of the wall here, and the batteries are just going to die pretty quick really. They're not going to last very long, I don't think. So the plan is to put a hole in the wall. So what I'm going to do here is, I'll show you here, I'm going to put 1 hole straight through the wall, which is where the cable's going to go, and 2 small holes for 2 little raw plugs, so that the meter can actually just sort of screw to that. Now if you look at my wall here, I'm going to put it above that end tile, so just roughly above there. It's going to go there. Now the consideration I've got here is I've got a plug socket here, and I've got a fuse spur isolator there as well for my washer underneath. Now because I didn't fit these, I don't know where they connect to, where they actually go. Where does the cable go? Looking at the wall, it's just basically plain. You can't see, so it probably goes behind the plasterboard of the wall somewhere and goes up, or it could go along, I don't know. The only way I'm going to actually find out is there's 2 methods I can use to do this. The first method is I could turn my electric off, I could unscrew these, and I can basically have a look where the cable comes in. Now let's say, for example, I take the plug socket off and the cable comes, I can see the cable coming in from the left hand side. I know the cable's then going to come in from the left hand side behind those tiles somewhere, and I'm pretty much safe to say there's nothing above there to drill. The other method I could use is to use a tester that will tell me if there's anything basically buried behind the plasterboard. Now I could use both methods just to be doubly sure. I'm going to use the tester because just that's my preferred method, and I've had a look at the screws on here, and without messing around with them, they're pretty in bad state, so I don't want to sort of be messing around with them if I can help it. So I'll just get my little detector and check if the cable is behind the wall or not. I'm only going to be drilling, like I say, 2 small holes for raw plugs, so the chances are with that I wouldn't hit the cable. hopefully. Not the thickness of the plasterboard, but the other piece is going to go straight through the wall, the other drill bit. Now, I want to show you the back of this smart meter and just explain something. Okay, so this is the back of my smart meter. Now, first thing, I don't know if anybody else has had this problem, but the cable that come with the smart meter, it just basically very loose in the socket at the back. So what I've done is I've got a glue gun. I've just ran a bit of hot glue around the outside of that socket there, stop it from coming loose, and that's fix the problem. So that's that little problem. So as you look at it at the back, I've got the little stand on. Now that stand there, which I'm just showing you there, that will unclip. So I've just pulled it down and off it comes, it unclips. It reveals the two screw holes. So this is actually designed to be fitted to the wall without the power lead, because obviously if you look at that, that's sticking out, it's not going to go into the wall. But I'm going to be obviously drilling an additional hole, basically where the power lead is there. Obviously that bit will be in the wall, and we'll have the two holes there to mount it up. Now, if you're not very good at cutting holes and things like that and measuring, the quick and easy method to do is just get a piece of old cardboard, something like a cereal box or something, draw around it for the shape of this device, so you've got the square shape of it. Then go on the back and just mark the holes, you know, just poke them through with a pencil or something. Then you've got the holes where you need them to be. Same method could apply to anything you're mounting through the wall. A lot of things come with these little template cards, and it's basically the same way of doing it as that, really. I've done that myself in the past if I haven't been 100% sure, but I'm going to do that, get the measurements, mark it up, and then it's sort of going to, hopefully, as long as there's no cables behind it, it's going to go on the wall, sort of around about there, above that end tile there. It should then sit nicely, and I'm hoping it'll carry on working. So we're sort of like going to be something like that. It's going to sit like that on the wall. Of course, I'm holding it, it's going to be a bit out, but yeah, it's going to sit on the wall like that, and we should have 2 or maybe even 3 bars of connection back to the smart meter itself. So I'll give that a go, and we'll draw it out and mark the holes up and check for wires in the wall. So I decided to go with my own advice on this, really, and just to show you, I've got a piece of cardboard there, and what I've done is I've cut it to the exact same size as the unit itself. I've basically measured with a ruler where the holes go, so I've just measured across first of all, drawn some straight lines down so we know where they are, and then looked where the holes need to be and just basically marked them. And hopefully when we turn this, I'll sort of hold that like that, and then if we look at the back of that where the holes are, when that goes on the wall like that, that template I can use to just basically drill with. I'm going to put a couple of little small holes, so the little crosses I've drawn are the 2 screw holes there. You can see them, they're the 2 screw holes, and the bigger hole, the big square there that I've drawn, that's where the USB cable needs to be, so that's where my sort of like bigger pilot hole needs to be. Well, I actually need a very thin hole going through the wall, big enough for the cable, so I'm going to use a very thin drill bit to go through the wall for the cable, just enough to get the socket through. Now, obviously the issue I've got is I did glue that in, as I said, but I'm going to have to pull it out and shove it through the wall, so I'm going to have to just have a hole big enough to just push that through, and it should be all right. Probably about 7, 8 mil maybe drill bit should get me through that with that little USB lead. and then maybe at the very end I've got to do a recess where that hole is, with probably like a 10 or 12 mil bit, just literally probably less than a centimetre deep in the wall. Maybe just the thickness of the plasterboard, really, if it's plasterboard, back, just so that it sits in nicely and it can pull out if we need to get it out. So there you go, there's my template. I can now mark the wall and drill the wall. So I've marked it, I've drilled the hole. Sorry I didn't show you drilling the hole. I need to get a GoPro or something, really, don't I? But there you go, it's wall mounted now. As you can see, it's got 3 bars of signal back to the smart meter, and it's got Wi-Fi connectivity as well, which is good. So I'm happy with that. I mean, it looks fairly neat on the wall, you know. It's in line with the edge of the tiles, it's straight. The only thing is, if you look at the side there, you can obviously see the little hole that I had to make for the cable, but that's not too much of a big deal, really. And if I swing you around to the other side, I can just show you there. The cable just comes through the wall into my garage, and there we go. I have it just plugged into the smart meter, you know, power adapter there. And I will tidy that cable up a bit better. I've just temporarily just put a little cable tie around it and plugged it in the garage there. But as you can see, that's the hole there. Then we come round, and obviously that's where it is there. Here's the template that I used and showed you earlier on. I made the 2 holes in the middle there. They were for the screws that hold it on. It's just like eye holes, and they push down. And then the bigger bit that I've drawn in pencil there, the square, that's the cable, where the cable needed to go through the wall. So I used an 8mm bit for that. Went through the wall and just made the hole a little tiny bit bigger at this end here, just so that the cable, because it's obviously got a little connector on the end there, USB connector, where it plugs in the back of the smart meter, just so it'd fit in properly. And yeah, I'm happy with that. It's all working, as you can see at the moment. No gas is on, so it shows 0 and 0.07 in electricity use. Now I'm happy with that. What will happen, it will go into sleep mode after a period of time. I think it's half an hour, maybe something like that, maybe a bit longer. So the display will go blank, but that little green light at the bottom there, that will stay on. So that shows you it's powered up. And then basically what I do is I just press the little gas symbol there in the middle, the blue and green symbol, and it'll the display will light up again. But yeah, I'm happy with that. It's installed. It's got a connectivity back to my smart meter. And the problem I had, the original problem I had was, no matter where I put it in my house, I just didn't have a signal back to the smart meter. The only place I did was here in the utility room. And having a plug socket there, we use that for the toaster generally. So I can't really keep on plugging this smart meter. I could have mounted it on the wall here and kept unplugging that. It's been a big job to fit a double socket in that tile space there. It's been quite a lot of work to cut it out and do, so it was a lot easier just to put a little hole through the wall and use the socket in the garage behind it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to put your thumbs up, like, share, and you can find me on Instagram and YouTube as well with more of these how-to tips for your home. That's been the British Gas smart meter installation. See you on the next video. Please click the subscribe button to be notified about new videos on my YouTube channel.